I'm going to chat to you a little bit about some other natural and herbal supplements. So, in general, I want to put it out there that because it's natural doesn't mean that it's completely harm free. You are unique. We all have different makeups and our body reacts in different ways. We all have different medications and various things going on within our systems. So it's always clever to make sure that there's no contraindications. And if you have any doubt or you're a bit wary, you want to make sure, then go to the head of your healthcare, like your GP or your specialist consultant, and just check first. As much as I've seen the benefit of many natural and herbal supplements, I've also suffered when it came to sampling one of those. And it was really annoying because one of them was a really helpful supplement when it comes to, body rebalance, hormonal balance, and bringing stress levels down, bringing the cortisol levels down in the body. And I had quite a mass purge, 12 hours. Don't want to go through that again. Wasn't quite sure if it was the herb that was doing it. So about a year later, I thought I'll try this again because it might have just been a fluke. Maybe there was something else going on. Glad I put the word out to whoever was in my household, because then I was wrapped around the toilet bowl for another 12 hours. Even worse that time, bile coming up. It was awful. So it's to let you know that it's always wise to test it first in a small amount. I had went for quite a high dose straight up, so you want to try it just in a trace to see how you go, and then you can build up into a higher dosage once you know that that's safe. So generally, have that kind of attitude. You don't want to be complacent. You want to ensure that you're still being safe. So in the herbal realms, I'm going to probably say that adaptogen herbs are one of the most useful ones to have in our culture. So adaptogen herbs are those which help the body maintain homeostasis. Homeostasis being the level of hormones being sufficient and being at the levels in which they need to be in order for our body to function well. So that ensures that the amount that's being secreted by the hormonal glands is also at the correct levels and at the correct times of the day. And adaptogen herbs are useful if you've gone through a fight or flight mode for quite a long time and your stress levels have been high. So if you feel that the cortisol levels have been quite consistently high, or there's been highs and lows, and your body's under stress, so you can have physical stress and you can have emotional stress, whichever type of stress that you feel might be going on there, particularly the emotional side, and those which get our heart racing, make us feel more anxious, we have energy crashes and we have cravings, then you might want to consider an adaptogen herb. So some of the ones that I would say have been known to be helpful are ashwagandha root. Ashwagandha root is normally ground up and found in a capsule form, and you can have that. It's quite a powerful one, ashwagandha, but if it works for you, then it works well. The next on the list would be rhodiola, so it's a lot more gentle, and I found it in a tincture form. That was quite a good way to take it. So it's literally just a couple of drops, or just a trace amount, which the bottle will tell you to measure out, into like a glass of water daily. And the last one would be astragalus or astragalus, however you'd like to pronounce it. Another one for homeostasis support. That would probably be middle ground, so still quite gentle but a bit more potent than rhodiola, but definitely not got the same oomph as ashwagandha root. I'm not a herbalist by trade, so please, I'm putting it out there that you will go away and do your own research and make sure that there's nothing that would clash with your lifestyle, with your own medications, with your own illnesses, anything that you have to avoid. Because in general, when you look at even essential oils, for instance, they're all natural, but many people wouldn't perhaps realise that some of them are contraindicated in certain conditions such as epilepsy, or they're not safe to take when you're pregnant because they can stimulate womb contractions, for instance. So other ones can make you photosensitive for a couple of days, and you could go out into the sun thinking that you'll get your wee half-hour sun with a really low factor on, or nae factor at all, kind of Scottish style. And you'll find that you'll burn really quickly. So bear this all in mind when you're looking at natural supplements. For other natural supplements that could help with pain relief, pain management, and inflammation, I have to obviously advocate turmeric. It's been one that's getting a bit more mainstream now. People are aware of how turmeric has helped those with rheumatoid arthritis, any inflammatory conditions such as fibromyalgia. Anyone really with a condition or a disease normally has a certain amount of inflammation in the system, because inflammation is the root of disease. So if you want to help reduce that in natural ways, you can have turmeric, you can have fiery spices such as ginger, cinnamon, cardamom, nutmeg, black pepper. You can have this in your food sources, but if you are finding that you've got quite an excess of inflammation going on, then you want to hit it up in higher dosage. So you're looking at ground versions of turmeric in capsule form, and even better if it is combined with black pepper, because again, they work as a team, they work in synergy. So if you get turmeric and black pepper together, then the effects will be like tenfold. You might want to consider other things like glucosamine, and you also have chondroitin. Can never pronounce it properly, but to get those two combined, um, some people find that some people with joint problems can find these quite helpful, because they help with the repair of cartilage, for instance. They might not necessarily cure any damage which is irreversible, but they might help to kind of shield and cushion any further kind of destruction, or slow the process, or reduce the inflammation as well. So that's another one to look at. So another one for pain management, as well as the anti-inflammatories such as turmeric, black pepper, and other ways in which you can lower your inflammation with your food groups, your choices in anti-inflammatory foods, and lowering the inflammatory foods like gluten, dairy, sugars, processed foods. So if you want to go for something that's quality assured and it's already been mixed for you, it's off the shelf, then Red Tiger Balm, I would say, has been so useful. It has to be the red version. There is an original white version of this, but I would say go for the red. This has cinnamon in it, it has clove oil, it has camphor oil, it also has cajeput oil, and I would say that if you need something to help calm spasms in particular, it's antispasmodic. So you use it topically. I'll show you what it's like inside. It smells really aniseed-like, and a bit like Vicks, but a little bit more natural, although it does have paraffin in it, I believe. But yeah, it's pretty red inside, and that means it could stain your clothing. So just be careful about what clothes that you do have on. If you're going to rub it on your belly, for instance, I've stained a few of my pajamas by rubbing it on my abdomen area, but it's been really useful for cramps. It's been useful for any pain in the body where you want to have a cooling effect as well. And what it does is it provides a sort of numbing effect on the nerves, because it's tricking the nerve a little bit. There's heat, but there's also a cooling effect, so the nerve doesn't quite know what to do because it's got both sensations, and it stops signaling to the brain that you're in pain. So I've found that useful. It can work within 10-15 minutes, and obviously using heat, the power of heat, hot water bottles, TENS machines as well have been useful for certain levels of pain, especially in women. TENS machines are used for those in labour, so it gives you an idea of how it might be able to help you with menstruating pains and abdominal pains as well. So those of you who have conditions where you maybe feel pains within the tummy or in the joints, you could look into all of the kind of more natural ways to keep on top of your pain as well. And I've found that sometimes using some of these methods, the more natural methods, the supplements, the heat or the cold, has kept me away from leaning on the pain relief in pharmaceutical form. So it's made me hold off and not take that because I've managed through a bit better. And of course, there's always a time and a place for conventional medicine. And we're not suggesting that you come off that if it's useful. But if you can find other ways to get maintenance and find relief, then it will help towards other factors in your life, such as getting a good sleep, having a good mindset, and being able to have a productive day. So for those that are looking for ways to balance your hormone health or just help support you going through hormonal changes, you are 40 or over, like myself now, I'm going to be looking at taking more evening primrose oil. This has a good source of natural omega-6 fatty acid, which is another essential fatty acid, but it has been known in trials to be quite helpful for those that have lowering of the hormones, so that then might help give you a knock-on effect to your sleep and your stress hormones as well. You also have other ones like starflower oil, and they generally have really good sources of fatty acids and GLA, ALA, for instance. So there's different versions of fatty acids, and you want to make sure that perhaps if you're looking at things like your skin health and changes in the collagen within your skin, because as we age, the collagen is lowered within our body, so that might just help boost the production of that a little bit, or be a bit more gentle on you aging. For sleep, my old friend, my old friends, yes, the magnesium's a good one. Magnesium for sleep, because magnesium is one of those, it's a precursor to sleep hormones being created. So if you're low in magnesium, you might be low in the production of melatonin or serotonin, which helps with sleep. I was finding it so difficult from a teenager to get good sleep, and my insomnia was absolutely off the charts. It wasn't just having a couple of hours sleep a night, it was not actually ticking over into sleep, and I would go as long as like 7-8 days with absolutely nothing and just be powering through on mindset alone. And obviously then leaning on unhelpful strategies like caffeines, sugars. And if emotionally you get affected, you're more impulsive, you might make decisions that you'll later regret, you don't have the same tolerance levels, you will be irritable, and emotionally you might not be able to stabilize your emotions as much, and you're more likely to feel sensitive and reactive. So it's important to really sort out sleep problems, get to the root cause. Always advocate getting to the root cause, but in the meantime, if you have to get out of a crisis, you might want to look at supplements while you are working on the things that are adding to your sleep deprivations, such as pain, such as stress emotionally, and mindset, and anything else that might be going on that's adding to your worries, or estrogen disruption. If you're low on estrogen, if you're perimenopausal, if you are menopausal, you also might find that your sleep's affected. And I will get onto one next for perimenopausal and menopausal women that might want to look at another supplement to help with that. But in general, you want to then help the production of melatonin, you want to help the production of serotonin. So doing more things that help the brain to release serotonin, less dopamine fixing, so less of the quick fix, the quick impulsive buzz, the short-term buzz, the thrills, more consistent contentment, comfort, real long-term confidence, um, building that feeling of stability and security, and knowing that you're adaptable and flexible, and building resilience. So resilience we will touch on the next video when we're talking about stress management. But for sleep, you might want to look at things like 5-HTP. So I got this one, which was a combination of what I found was a good combo actually. It had everything that I was really looking for. So lemon balm is a good herb to use for getting you into a relaxed state and a sleep-like state, and it can help stimulate that in your brain. It also has the 5-HTP is sourced from Griffonia seed extract. So 5-HTP is a precursor to producing the sleep hormones, so like melatonin. And you've also got L-tryptophan within that as well. So I found that that really did help, but I had underlying causes as well. It did help to an extent, but I had to treat the root cause as well. So please bear that in mind. It's not looking for a quick fix, but it's looking for support while you undergo these treatments and these changes. Or, you know, it could just be something that is simple and that could be dissipated within a week once you know how to get yourself realigned. Looking at also things like valerian teas. So you want to look at herbal teas that have about 11% or more of valerian root within them. So I used to go into a bath with vetiver essential oil. It's really smoky, it's really dense, and it doesn't take a lot to put into a bath for you to inhale that. It's also known as the oil of tranquility, so that gives you a little bit of an insight. It's pungent when you sniff it in the bottle. You might think you're not going to like it, but once it's in diluted form, it's really quite different, quite earthy. Pop this into a bath with a little bit of milk. That's your dairy milk or your alternative milks, because it has to combine with something that's got fat in it, fat soluble essential oils, and this ensures that it spreads around the bath water rather than float on the surface. So vetiver oil. You've also got other oils that might help. So if the underlying root cause is things like tension, worries and things like that, anxiety, then yes, lavender, the one that we all know, could be useful. But you also have really quite comforting oils like marjoram as well, and chamomile. So you can explore that, and again look up the contraindications, and you can put that into your bath water, and then you can have a valerian root tea on the side. So you've got the warmth going into your body, the warmth from the bath, the combination of those natural supplements, herbs, and it might be enough to just help your nervous system come back down, be grounded, and realise maybe you're just getting yourself too worked up, feeling overwhelmed, and it's just taking that time out, giving yourself headspace, and giving yourself that headspace so that you can compartmentalise everything and you can assign it categories in your head and realise there's certain things that don't need solved right now. Sometimes it's a matter of time, sometimes it's a matter of things developing, and you can only do the best you can in this precise present moment, and being in the present moment and just realising that the universe has got your back, your loved ones have got your back, your body has got your back. As much as we feel that we don't have confidence and we've maybe fell out with our body because it's manifest illnesses that are frustrating and we feel that we've been a victim to things in our life, our body is intelligent and it knows how to heal. And if we give it the correct environment, that's physiologically, chemically, and we give it the correct environment mentally and emotionally, and support it with nature and lifestyle changes, then that can be enough for us to realign